Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now, as you can see behind me, our crew's getting packed up and ready to head out on a little break. So in the meantime, let's take a little journey into the archives. It's been a while since we've been on the road, so we thought we'd take you back to one of our favorite trips, Bike-Toberfest in Daytona with our old friend John Gardner.
Well, we're in my home state of Florida, Daytona to be exact. We're at Bike-Toberfest. This is an awesome bike rally. There's bike show, there's custom bike builders, and there's some of the top vendors in the nation are here. So we're at Bike-Toberfest, and so is Dave.
Well, John, you can get just about anything you want from one of the manufacturers here on the Midway. You can get food, hats, jewelry, clothing, and one of the most popular booths right over here. These are the Top Coat folks, and they have the magic elixir to make any bike look great.
Boy, we found one here. How about a 1951 Harley? Really cool because it's a panhead. What does a panhead mean? Well, you look at the engine, you got the top here, looks just like a pan. It's actually a 80cc motor stroked and bored. The front end here's got the Springer suspension on it, all the way down, satin paint, looks pretty good. Come down this way, you can actually see the primary down there, all opened up. The hammer right there, that's Grandpa's hammer, man. He's shifting that thing with that joker as he goes along. It's a rigid tail on the back. It's a rigid tail suspension. And you go around to the other side, you can actually see the engraving there, PHB, Panhead Bob. What a nice bike here at Bike-Toberfest.
Well, they say every motorcycle is an extension of the owner's personality, and I can tell you, this bike has a ton of personality, right down to the faded front fender on this vintage Harley Davidson, to the hand-painted tank. How do I know it's hand-painted? I can see the brush strokes. So this just proves that you don't need a really cool, fancy bike to fit into Daytona. All you need is a bike, and you're one of the gang.
Heading down Main Street here at Bike-Toberfest, walked into this swap meet. They got really neat stuff, but I need a couple bags for my bike. The problem is, these ones are looking pretty rough down here. Imagine I could take this back to Top Coat and they can fix it up real nice.
As you watch the traffic on the streets of Daytona, you see all sorts of motorcycles, and you realize these riders like to keep their bikes in top condition.
I've got an Indian Chieftain, which is this bike here, and then I've got two other Harleys, so I like the V-twin. Yeah, I kind of like this matte finish on this one. It's not as, you know, as much of a hassle, but it's important, you know, to keep them nice.
Top Coat works great on chrome, as well as the denim surfaces, as well as the painted surfaces on this bike. So with that being said, you're gonna be able to spray the product from the paint directly to the chrome badging, as well as into the denim of the motor, and you're just gonna see what the results do. Directly over the chrome, over the painted surfaces, and it's polishing this chrome to a nice deep mirror shine, as well as that paint. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the camera guys are right there. One single bottle, every single surface, phenomenal results.
Bike after my own heart. Big old chopper. Now what makes it a chopper? That big old rake on the front, man. Look at the triple tree and forks on this thing sticking out. Big old S&S motor, all chromed out and decked out. A monster with the S&S shorty carburetor down to the chrome exhaust. The thing is loud, the thing is mean, and the thing is awesome. Big old belt drive, and then the coolest part about the chopper is right there on that big old rear tire. What a monster. You got some rubber on the road on this joker. Great, great chopper.
Well, they say necessity is often the mother of invention, and that's certainly the case with Top Coat. Scott, how did you come up with the idea for Top Coat F11?
Honestly, I had a really bad car accident, and it was one of those, you know, life literally to me was over with. I didn't think I was going to walk again, so that's where it all started, was literally in a hospital bed with a laptop, a cell phone, and an idea. So my plan was, I was touching every product that was ever made in the detailing market. I knew what it was, I knew what was out there, and I realized quickly there's too many products. And if there was technology that could do one product that literally would replace 99+% of all of that other garbage on the market, you'd have a home run. And that's what I sought out to do.
We bought top coat in July after we bought the CVO, and we love it. Anytime we use it, you can literally just take a dry rag and it wipes right off, depending on what it is. Now, if it's love bugs or something, take a little wet rag. It literally wipes right off. Anything else we've used, we've literally had to scrub to get all the stuff off, and you still have like that haze that the bugs leave on it. But the top coat doesn't. We don't have that problem.
More great stuff still to come when Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, continues.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM radios since 1977. And by NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system.
At Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, we continue our look back on Bike-Toberfest.
Everything here at Bike-Toberfest is not about cruising around on a slowpoke. This sucker here is more horsepower and more speed than you would ever need. Check out this 1000 GSXR Gixxer, man. This thing is gorgeous from the front to the back. Look at the paint on this joker. And then you got 12 inches of stretch back there. I don't know who would want to drive this thing. Definitely not Dave, but this is more horsepower than you may ever need here at Bike-Toberfest.
My bike's a 05 Road King Custom. I got a lot of chrome on it. It is hard to keep clean. Got to keep after it all the time. You wash it and wax it, keep after it.
Top coat can apply to any and all surfaces, including the engine. With that being said, you've got chrome, you've got a powder coated finish, you have a gloss finish. All of those surfaces can be applied, and you're just going to simply spray it on. You're going to wipe it in, and you're going to follow up with a dry microfiber, and you're going to polish it out. And this F11 is going to help keep this powder coated finish of the engine block looking like brand new. It's going to help keep it looking its natural luster, as well as there's no heat issues with the product as well.
I think Dave's riding around here on a Schwinn bicycle. Kind of reminds me of this one right here, man. Classic look. You remember that old bicycle? Look at the front tire. You got the actual spokes on the front tire right there and the white walls. That old school feel, man. This is a streamlined bike with a big Harley motor. The exhaust system's phenomenal, aftermarket. Then you go up to the top there, you can see the seat, man. That's gorgeous seat. White seat with the black stitching on it. Really comfortable. The little springs in the back, down to the belt drive system. Streamlined bike. Looks really good. Love the paint. Gotta love the metallic and the little dice on the back. Looks like things are coming up sixes.
Now, Scott, you've told us how you came up with the idea for Top Coat. You were going to introduce it, though, into a market that was completely saturated. So how was Top Coat going to stand apart from all the other products out there?
Well, that was the irony. That's why I went that direction, because it was saturated. Because the technology was there, but no one was doing anything with it. You know, because they want to sell, right? But I was saying, no, wait a second, this has got to be better for the customer. This has got to be better for the consumer. So that's where it was one product to do it all. And of course, that was the technology that we started diving into and working with, and thus developed the Top Coat line of products.
So why was Top Coat so popular right from the start?
Because it solved a need. It's easy, and it was fast, and you get incredible professional results, incredible depth of image, right? I mean, incredible hydrophobicity. It solved all of these issues with one product, and that was the whole key to it. Top Coat changed the industry, you know, with a tested and true technology. At the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of competitors out there right now that are trying to imitate Top Coat, but we've got a 20-year head start on all of these guys. So, you know, put that in perspective.
Hey Ryan, I was walking down Main Street, needed a saddlebag for my bike, man. I saw this one at a swap meet. I like it, got it cheap, but man, the condition's pretty rough, man. Can you help us out?
Yes, sir, we most certainly can. So F11 here is going to help restore this leather plastic here, as well as going to remove the dirt and the grime that's sitting on it, and then it's going to restore it back to its like new condition. So let's get started.
I hope so, because boy, I got it for a good price, and I sure needed that saddlebag. So first step, you're just putting it on there, start rubbing it.
I'm rubbing it.
This is taking off the dirt and the grime.
I'm going to flip to my dry towel.
Wow, you can see it right now, starting to look shiny as it is. But we'll check back in with our bag. Let's find Dave and see what's going on with him.
Coat. What do you love about Top Coat?
I love the performances it gives me as a cleaning product and also a top coat to my paint. I mean, I have a metallic blue on my bike, and during the sunlight, I've had a hard time keeping the streaks out of it. One of the things I've noticed about Top Coat is when you use it, you don't get any streaks, you don't get any after film, you know what I'm saying? And the more you wipe it, the better it looks. Top Coat's something that you can believe in. When you buy it and you try it, you'll go back for more. I've bought more since I've been here at this event this weekend. I love it. I'll continue to use it.
All the way from California, Big Bear chopper. Now, what's the difference between this chopper and some of the other ones? Well, it's a low rider. That's pretty cool. It's down low. And you gotta love the big old 100 cubic inch motor down there with an actual primary open up, man. That thing will shred you to pieces. How cool is that? The paintwork is phenomenal, but the whole coolness of the bike is in the sitting and the style of it. Nice bike all the way here in Oktoberfest from California.
Do not touch that remote because Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. We'll be right back after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now, a lot of you are probably looking for UTVs if you don't already have one, or you're looking to upgrade, and the process can be confusing. But I've got a one-stop shop for you where you're going to get what you're looking for, and that's Interstate 69 Motorsports. And Adam, tell me what sets Interstate 69 apart from the others that are out there.
Well, number one, Dave, I would have to go to the best deals. We simply have the best deals. We have one of the largest selections in stock in the United States, as well as our extremely knowledgeable sales staff, parts, service, down to the warehouse. We have over 70 employees that have a combined total of over 500 years experience in the power sports business. That's incredible.
And you're talking about big selection. How big of a dealership are we talking?
Well, as far as size of our actual facility, we have over a 50,000 square foot Honda and Polaris dealership, as well as multiple warehouses and a marine store across the street. So you're talking about 7 or 8 acres worth of property with buildings scattered all over it.
Holy cow, and it's a huge place, but you're in a small town. You're in Union City, Tennessee.
That's right.
Centrally located, which is cool, but I can't imagine you get a lot of foot traffic.
We still get a lot of foot traffic. I would say we get more from out of town and out of state.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we offer the best deals, so we get them coming from all the way up to 5 hours plus away, one way. All 50 states, we see them come from everywhere. When they leave, they're normally proud to say that I got mine at I-69. They had a great experience, and we work very strongly off referrals and word of mouth. We've got right at a 5-star review on Google right now, so everybody seems to be saying great things.
And when you're buying a big thing like a car or a UTV or a house, it's really important how you're treated.
That's correct.
How do you treat your customers?
We treat them, number one, how we would want to be treated, but with the utmost respect. You know, it is a large purchase. These things aren't cheap, and you know, it's discretional money, and there's a lot of things you can spend it on. And you know, in my opinion, which I'm a fellow rider as well, what better thing to spend it on is something you can get in with a whole family and go for a ride. So
that's cool. Let's talk about this one in particular.
Yeah.
You started with a stock vehicle, but you made some mods to it. So tell me what's on this particular UTV.
21 model Ranger 1000 XP in matte navy. That's a cool color. We've got a Copen winch on it, as well as we have a tip out windshield, light bar, brush guard, aftermarket wheels and tires, 30-inch tires on it. I also see a factory radio from Polaris, to where we installed a genuine Polaris part audio system in it.
And folks are coming in to buy a lot of stock vehicles. How many of them are making modifications, and to what level are they going?
Most are, and we see accessory package vary anywhere from maybe $600 or $700 all the way up to, we had several last week that were $12,000 plus in accessories. So accessorizing them is definitely how to customize it and make it yours and make it work for you for what your intended purpose is. That's the main thing, is finding the right vehicle for that person's needs.
Now, if you're looking to go big, here is a perfect example. This vehicle is pretty spectacular. Josh, tell me what I'm looking at.
So it's a 21 Razor XP 1000. It's got a Pro Armor roll cage, there's seats, harnesses, doors. This thing's sick.
I can second that. How do I know I'm getting quality parts from Interstate 69?
Yeah, so we only pick brand name parts that fit, and they're top-notch parts.
and how do I know that I'm getting something that's going to work for me? How does your staff work with me there?
Sure. So the process is that when the sales guy gets the call, he fills out what the customer needs, their riding types, and helps them build out the machine to their needs.
How long has your staff been working and doing this?
Most everybody has been there for 10 plus years.
Wow, and these folks, this isn't just a job for them too, this is something they do in their spare time as well.
That's right. You know, on the weekends they're riding with their family, they're going to different places and checking out trails and everything.
So you can be sure that they're not going to put anything on here they wouldn't put on their vehicle.
That's 100% right.
What about warranties? Now we're getting all these parts put on our vehicle, we're getting a new vehicle. What are we talking about?
So the factory units come with 6 months, and then we have the option to get out to additional 4 years. So that's 8 times the factory warranty on that.
Pretty impressive. Interstate 69 is a huge dealership. How many vehicles are you selling in a day?
You know, we have sold up to 100 units in a single day.
Holy moly, that's incredible. And clearly, all those folks are satisfied customers. That's why they sell the big volume. And if you want to find out why Interstate 69 Motorsports is so popular and is the place to go, be sure to check them out on their website. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. Mobile Environmental Solutions, the leading portable mobile paint booth. And by BrothersTrucks.com, your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration.
You know, I miss having John Gardner with me here on Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, but lucky for me, John and I still get to work together on a show called Tech Garage. Really cool stuff, and you can see it here on Motor Trend on Saturdays at 8 a.m. or on our YouTube channel. Here's a little taste.
Welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com. Well, it's Garage Ed time, and we've talked about brake fundamentals in Show 1. Then we looked at different calipers and rotors. It only makes sense to turn our attention to brake pads. And brake pads, once again, come in all shapes, sizes, and flavors. So let's start out here with metallic brake pads. Now, metallic brake pads, they're basically just fully metal pads. You don't see those on a lot of passenger cars. You see them on those race cars. Boy, if you ever watch the race at night and you see those rotors are glowing super red, that's because they last forever. They're metal, but boy, they get hot. They get super, super hot, but they can handle the heat and they can handle a long race. What we use on our passenger cars is usually these semi-metallic pads. That's pretty good. This is a hybrid technology, but there's all kinds of material in there. It's just your regular run-of-the-mill semi-metallic pad. A lot of manufacturers put them on the car. These are great sets. I got all these sets at RockAuto.com. They got premium brake pads or choices across the line. But semi-metallic pads have a little bit of metal in there. You may get a little squeal. They're going to last about middle of the road versus the metallic pads lasting forever, but not as good as stopping power as the actual semi-metallic. Then what we ran into is ceramic pads. This is pretty cool. Ceramic pads have really good stopping capability. They also withstand the heat. On a lot of multiple stops, they can dissipate it and get rid of it. And what I liked about the ceramic pads is you still get the brake dust, but the brake dust is white, so you don't get all the black rims on there. Really, really nice choice, ceramic brake pads, but definitely look at your manufacturer specification and see what they call for. That's what you want to use. Now, when it comes to brake pads, there's also a deal called a brake pad wear indicator. Something that's going to let you know as a driver, either audible, tactile, some way, that your pads are starting to wear out. And I have one right here. You can see this little metal comes out to the pad and it comes down to about right here. So once that pad starts to wear past that point, this is going to scrape the rotor. Now, this is a softer metal than the rotor, so it shouldn't hurt the rotor, but you're going to get that audible chirp. Chirp, 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 chirp as you're driving. Now, if you got a lot of money like Dave and you drive a high-performance car, you may actually have an electronic sensor. This is really cool. This come off a BMW, and you just replace the electronic sensor in the next set of pads. You put it in there, and when it touches, it grounds out a circuit, and it lets the driver know it's time to replace the brake pads. Also, a couple segments ago, you're going to have to rewind, but we talked about the importance of the hardware and the pads moving. If you get associated hardware, put it on. You want this pad to slide back and forth. This one right here, not so much. It's going to stick. It's going to have problems. Make sure it's clean. It's all about that coefficient of friction, making sure that you have that good contact surface. You definitely don't want them to be messed up or dirty.
Speaking of dirty, we get that complaint a lot about brake squeal and noises coming from the brakes, and it's usually because they're dirty, John. And there's something you can do. Now, I pulled this one off here. This pad, of course, probably should be replaced,
sure,
but for sake of demonstration, we'll show you how to clean them up. You can see the shiny surface on this side, and there's a simple solution right here. You grab some sandpaper, put it on a flat surface, and you can start to rub. You can see the dirt coming off of that already.
Yep.
And all the grime. There's brake dust on here. There's dust from the road, all kinds of mud that collects on these. And just with a little bit of that, you can see we're already starting to get some of the shiny off, get some of the surface there. It's more grippy, for lack of a better term, for your brakes.
Perfect. So you're making that good coefficient of friction. You can see the shines going. Just keep going, keep it level, beautiful. All that dust come off. You're back to that high coefficient of friction. Now you got another trick to help with the sound.
Sure, and this one's also super simple, so I'll throw this out here. Looking at the other side, you can see we've cleaned it up a bit, but maybe you're still wanting to get rid of that squeal, and here's a good way to do it. This is called Disc Brake Quiet. The name kind of says it all here. It keeps your brakes quiet. You want to get rid of that sound, so spray a little of this on. Wait a few minutes, so about 5 minutes or so, you'll be ready to go here. And this creates sort of a rubber surface on the back, and that will eliminate some of the noise. It'll absorb the sound, and you'll be able to drive noise-free, and you'll just feel better about your ride.
Exactly. So that's going to work out real good for you. You may have put some new pads on. You didn't clean them up real well. That's an issue. Dave, incredible.
Well, that is going to do it for this edition of our show. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to do it once again next week when the crew gets back from break, so be sure to tune in because we have a great show planned for you here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings.